Having a running game is important. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the running backs in the AFC North. With that being said, the question is, who's the best running back in the AFC North? Let me know in the comments. Now, I'm not going to be ranking the players in any specific order. I'm just going to be going on the standings. So with that being said, we'll start off with Mr. Nick Chubb, Cleveland Browns. Nick Chubb has been a consistent running back. He has a unique cutback style. He finds the seam, makes the cut, and then Nick Chubb's off to the races. He has speed as well. He's a complete running back. He can do just about anything you can ask him to do. I know the Cleveland Browns record wasn't that good last year, missing the playoffs, but that was not due to the lack of running from Mr. Nick Chubb, because Mr. Nick Chubb rushed for over a little bit over 1,500 yards. So even though the team did not have any success on a team basis, Nick Chubb seen a little personal success. And like I said, man, Nick Chubb being like that shorter, lower to the ground, lower gravity back, man, sometimes it may be harder for him to see Chubb coming through that hole once he makes that cut. And once he makes the cut, like I said, he's off to the races. He can block as well. He's been consistent. I know they had the 1-2 punch with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb for a little bit, but Nick Chubb ended up taking over the majority of the load again. And like I said, the record, that was just because of them having a backup quarterback for the majority of the season. So Mr. Nick Chubb had to carry a lot of the load, a lot of carries, as you can see on the other stats there. They was relying on Nick Chubb. I mean, that's what a good running back is there for. Your quarterback goes, not goes down, he's suspended, and for 11 games, and you're out with your starter. So here comes your backup, and you rely on your running game. Cleveland Browns, they normally had a good offensive line for a few years now, so that also helps. So you have Mr. Nick Chubb with the Cleveland Browns. Next up, we had Najee Harris with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Najee Harris was dealing with a Liz Frank injury during the beginning of last season. People were questioning why was Najee running like that. It didn't seem like he was hitting the holes and stuff like that. But, now that we know what was going on, he revealed he had a plate in his foot and things like that. So, but it still did not stop Mr. Najee Harris from getting 1,000-yard seasons, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons going into his third year. Najee Harris is the power back. His one of his go-to moves is the stiff arm. He likes to hurdle people as well, but coming off that foot injury, you didn't see too much of that last year. And Najee Harris, he can catch too, as you can see, as you've seen it, the Oakland Raiders game. Well, not the Oakland Raiders game, the Baltimore game, the last drive there. He caught the game-winning pass. So Najee Harris is a power back. He is a little elusive, but he's better when he's hitting the holes and he's he's doing his thing. So, and like most power backs, the stiff arm is a go-to move for bigger backs. So, Mr. Najee Harris using that is not nothing new for a bigger back. And with this new offensive line, put together, with the Broderick Jones and Sal Malo from Philly and things like that, man, you're going to look for the Steelers to be running the ball a little bit more to help Kenny Pickett out, coming into his second year. So we're probably going to see a lot more of Mr. Najee Harris this year. I don't know, they got the Jaylen Warren, the 1-2 punch going on, but Najee Harris is the load. He carries the load. So it's going to be interesting to see what Najee Harris does this year with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Next up, J.K. Dobbins, Baltimore Ravens. Now, J.K. Dobbins last year just returned back to form. He was out for a year with a knee injury. So in training camp early last year, J.K. Dobbins didn't feel right. So, he went back to doctors and everything, and they found some things in his knee that they needed to clean up. He got those things cleaned up. And as you can see this season, he returned back to form somewhat. If you look at the numbers of J.K. Dobbins, they'll be a little deceiving. You'll say, wow, he didn't really rush for that many yards. If you look at the carries, not that many carries. As if you can see, he's over 5 yards a carry, almost 6 yards a carry. So, you can see he's effective when he does get the ball. And, Baltimore, they do the dual running back thing. If Lamar's not running it, you got Gus Edwards, you got J.K. Dobbins. So, that's one of the reasons why his carries are down. So if you look at the numbers, they could be deceiving, but J.K. Dobbins is a good running back. I know, the year he was drafted, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I know a lot of Steeler fans wanted J.K. Dobbins to be drafted to Pittsburgh, but he ended up going to Baltimore, which, being a Steeler fan, if you want the guy and then your rival draft him, that's just like a nightmare, especially if he has good games like he has. So, but J.K. Dobbins, like I said, man, you can see the cuts, the moves. He's similar to a Nick Chubb with the cutting. That's probably why he went back to the doctors to get cleaned up, because training, him trying to prepare for the season, he just couldn't get into the groove, and it just didn't feel right. And with this new offensive scheme coming into Baltimore this year, they want to change some things up, make it easier for Lamar. And what's a better way to make things easier for your quarterback than to rush the ball a little bit more? So look for J.K. Dobbins carries to go up this year, and we'll see what happens there. And then you have Joe Mixon, Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Mixon is more of a power running back. He can make some moves and do some things too, but his MO is the power. He looks to run you over, and then when he do run you over, he either look down on you if you're on the ground, or he makes the hand gesture that you're a little bit too small. If you look at Joe Mixon's stats, he had a lot of carries under 1,000 yards. Man, the Cincinnati Bengals been having offensive line issues for some years now. You've seen Joe Burrow go down early in his career because they couldn't keep him. They couldn't protect him. They've been trying to make offensive line moves every year since then. They've been trying to do everything they could, to maximize the window for Joe Burrow. And Joe Mixon can be the beneficiary as well, because he has to run behind that line. So, the numbers for Joe Mixon may be deceiving, but Joe Mixon is a good running back. Just a bad line there in Cincinnati. So, they made some offensive line moves this year. So I believe Joe Mixon carries will go up. So we'll just have to see what he can do with a reinforced offensive line. But we already know what Joe Mixon's about, man. He's not lacking in really like nothing. Like I said, he can block, he can catch, all these running backs in this AFC North, man, could pretty much do just about everything. But it's just about who you would rather have on your team. What guy pops out to you the most. There's numbers and there's opinions. People go by the numbers, and and people go by the eye test, what I've seen. So, and that's just what this video was about, man. Just seeing, I put the numbers up there so you could know what the guy's done last season, because it's a currently, not all time. And sometimes you may say, hey, that's nice, but what I've seen, I would rather go with that. So that's what this list is all about. And to get back into Joe Mixon, I know I kind of cut him short a little bit, but like I said, man, we're gonna have to see what Joe Mixon can do behind this line, man. They got the big they got made some big moves on that offensive line. You know, like I said, for Burrow, but you know, Joe Mixon is going to benefit from that as well. So him being a bigger back, they open up some holes for Joe Mixon, man, and he can do some things because he has speed as well. So I know he's going to be motivated to come back, to bounce back, and everything. You know, there was words that was he going to stay, were they going to cut him due to the money situation, but he's still on the team. And I know he's going to be motivated to have a better season than last year. So there you have it. You see the numbers. You know, if you're familiar with the AFC North, you know about these guys. You watch these guys play, so you know what they bring to the table. And the question is, man, who's the best running back in the AFC North? You know, and rank them, you know, from best to worst to best, however you want to put it, however you want to slice the pie. And let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell to get all the new videos. And until next time, I'm out.